You are moments away from seeing the HAN Network's coverage of Norwalk and Stamford High live on the HAN Network.
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and more in southwestern Connecticut.
on the campus of Norwalk High School. This is FCIAC Boys Lacrosse on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Renito, sitting alongside John Kovach as we get set for an early season matchup between the Norwalk Bears and the Stamford Black Knights. John, when you think of lacrosse, these are not two of the normal programs we would see on the network. Very evenly matched, though. Both programs on the rise. It should be a great afternoon.
Both are on the rise. There's perhaps no sport as stratified as lacrosse. You have your teams that are the top teams every year. You've got your teams that are the second tier. These are up-and-coming teams, but they're just so even. Stamford comes in 1-1 overall, 0-1 in the FCIAC. Norwalk 2-1, 1-1 in the FCIAC. But let's look back at a few years and how closely matched these two teams are. 2016, Stamford finishes 7-9. They're the 22nd and last team to qualify for the Class L state playoffs. They lose their opener to number 11, Cheshire. Norwalk, 6-10. They just come short there. 2015, Norwalk finishes the season 4-12. Stamford, 3-13. 2013, Norwalk 6-9. They're ineligible for the states because of disqualifications. Stamford is 6-10, a half game behind. These are two teams that really should give us a very evenly matched game here today.
And what stands out to me is you've got a Stamford program now coming off their best season in program history. They want to continue to improve. Coach Nazzaro has got to be looking at this game today and his team with the mindset of these are games we need to expect to win. If they want to continue to find themselves in the state tournament, these are the teams in the FCIAC they need to expect to win. For Norwalk, on the other hand, John, and for Coach Glenn Adams and his team, they've got to be looking at this game as a measuring stick to see where they belong amongst the state and the conference and whether or not they're ready to potentially make a run at the state tournament.
I'll steal an analogy Vinny Camara, who I coached football with for many years, used to tell the kids. You've got 10% of the teams that are going to win all the time. You've got 10% of the teams that are going to lose all the time. It's what those 80% in the middle do to each other that sorts out the playoffs. That's what you're going to see here today. These are two of those 80% in the middle. How are they going to fare against each other? I think Stamford's going to look to build off any momentum they can carry from April 8th when they won an overtime game, 10-9 against Brantford. Got to still be on some kind of a high there, and it shows a lot of heart to win the overtime game. Norwalk trying to rebound off of Tuesday's 12-7 loss to St. Joseph, their first loss of the year after a 2-0 start.
For the Black Knights, they struggled opening game of the season, as you mentioned, against Greenwich, 12-3. But Greenwich for lacrosse, that's a part of those 10% of teams that's always going to win, as you just alluded to. Stamford doesn't need to win those games. Maybe they steal one at some point in time during the season. Good job to fight adversity, come away with an overtime win against Brantford. Now, though, you get into an FCIAC team, middle of the pack. You're both going to be vying for position. The St. Joe's that just beat Norwalk by a slim margin, John, last week, that was the 8th seed in the tournament last year. So that gives you a sense of where that last playoff spot is going to be and how up for grabs it is as we get set to go from Testa Field. The Black Knights wearing all black with orange numbers. They'll move from right to left on your screen. Norwalk in the all-white, green numbers on their jerseys. As the opening faceoff is controlled by the Bears, and it's Alton Hall who will bring it up ahead, check into the box, and now let the offense run itself.
On that faceoff, good physical play by Quint Bardish, the junior faceoff man for Norwalk, who boxed out his opponent. That allowed his teammate to scoop up the ground ball, give Norwalk this first possession.
The two goalies in today's games will be Michael Cardone for Norwalk and Sean Capitan for the Black Knights. As Hall, working at that X position, looks to dodge around his man, heading to the front of the net, but help defense came as he originally had slipped by Matt Doyle. And now a big shot coming here was deflected. Checking his stick is Dale Donovan. He thought it might have been broken or the head might have come loose.
That was a long cut by him. He ran about 20 yards and had a running start to get that shot. Could have been a devastating shot.
Hall on the left side sends it up top, and Joshua Tilton gets his first touch. Tilton, number 21 in white, works down the right side of the box, sends behind the cage, and waiting there is his teammate Chase Larkin, who again is guarded by Doyle. A little bit of a zone matchup scheme here from the Black Knights. As Hall looks to isolate up top, drew a double team and has to circle back and reset now with 1:25 going by in the first quarter. Still scoreless from Norwalk High. It is spring break week still, winding down here on Holy Thursday. Starting next Monday, all the student athletes back in session. It'll be a normal schedule for us, too, as we see more games in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. As we've been enjoying 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock start times for most of the week.
You like these early games. It's kind of like a break.
It has a true spring feel to it when you play these games at an early time. And we were talking with Kevin Coleman earlier this week when we were at Greenwich about when you think lacrosse should be played, whether it's an afternoon sport or at night under the lights. And I'm a huge fan of good lacrosse being played at this time of the day, sun shining down, and the athletes on display.
I won't disagree, but I think you're seeing it migrate to a nighttime sport as we've got a violation.
Norwalk held on to possession for a full 2 minutes and 15 seconds without putting a shot on goal. And now for the first time this afternoon, the Black Knights go to work as going down to the floor. I'm working to pick that one back up with Scott Morrell. Comes rolling out of the pile, and Dylan Schneider collected it there, but an illegal pick set, and quickly Stamford gives it back just 15 seconds later. Expect both teams to feel each other out a little bit here early on. They won't be the best teams we see in lacrosse all season, John, but don't let that hinder what kind of a matchup we've got here today.
It's going to be an evenly matched, and it's been an even matchup for years. What I like, we're seeing a lot of picks early on. We're seeing a lot of physical play without devastating hits, maybe even more than we've seen in some of the Greenwich and Darien and New Canaan and Wilton games that we've done earlier this year.
And I think those are games where you see a lot of finesse play. They're designed plays to free up specific athletes who've been playing this game for 8, 9, 10 years, whereas these programs have got players that picked up a stick for the first time as freshmen. It's a blue-collar mentality, and you're going to see a lot of picks. They're going to battle for ground balls and for face-offs. And it's what makes these teams unique in their own sense.
Well, it's an interesting style. It's kind of where the game was for some of these teams, let's say 15, 20 years ago, when it was a more physical game.
As a bounce shot here hops up over the net.
And before we get too far removed, I just want that save by Sean Capitan early on that last Norwalk shot about a minute ago. Big save to keep it scoreless with 8:25 left here in the first quarter.
Pat Barboza with it here, sends up top, and now Krantz Medeus looking to go to work. Put it down on the carpet, able to recover. Double team comes, and he slips through that one. Forced to pass back up high. Ground ball collected by Hall, no. Can he get it on the second try? Yes. As he works through a check from Brendan Fahey. Crosses over the goal line into the end zone of the football field.
Strong run by Hall there to maintain possession with those long stick checks coming from Brendan Fahey of Stamford.
Back up top, and it's Michael Manella checking in. Beats a man off a check. Fires one on cage and scores. What a shot from Manella to the top left corner. Might have even got a piece of the bar. It's 1-0 Norwalk with 7:28 to play.
I think it may have got the bar as it went over Capitan's right shoulder, went to the handle end of the stick. He really didn't have any opportunity to move there. Maybe could have thrown his body in front of it, but such a high shot, really not much Capitan could do.
Working to his right, fires back across to the left at the 4:32 mark. The Bears break through. It's 1-0 with the face-off to follow. Making sure everyone's in the right position. We're underway here.
Good face-off.
That is Quint Bartouche doing the draws for Norwalk, and Stephen Phelps for the Black Knights.
And it was Griffin Olshan scooped it up and reversed field before he lost the ball.
As Wilton St. John comes away with this one. Checked up at the 20 for a second. Walks the end line again. And pauses at the X. Working off a pick here, cutting back and forth against Captain Dylan Fife for the Black Knights. In number 1, we saw Dylan in the fall as a captain of the football team, as well as heading to the front again, and picking up his second is Manella.
Same shot, different side. Attacks the net side that time. Lower shot, same result. So, 2 quick and 2-0 for Norwalk with 6:29 left in this first quarter.
Just 59 seconds after his first goal, Manella picks up his second. And it is 2-0 with 6:29 to play in the first.
I got to say, Frank, I never played lacrosse. It wasn't really offered when I was in school, where I went to school in New Jersey. The face-offs are one of my favorite things in sports, to watch a lacrosse face-off.
We talked about earlier this week how elite the face-off men in the FCIAC are, and to be able to do one simple job, it could put you through college at some of the top universities in this nation. As a flag comes out for the first time today, fighting towards the front of the cage, and a bounce shot goes high out of the stick of Scott Moreau. But a man advantage opportunity to come now, as heading to the box to serve this one will be Valentine Brito. So first man advantage opportunity of the game comes at 5:57. 2-0 lead for Norwalk. Black Knights looking to cut that in half.
That's good right there.
Here's Schneider over to Fife. Just some on the defensive side of the field. The midfielder will get work on both ends. There's a big shot coming here down low, and a save made by Cardone. Saw it all the way.
Hall quickly pounced on that loose ball, and he's brought it all the way to the Stamford end already.
And he's able to kill off more time here, as the Bears are going to wait till things are back to even with Brito still serving. That shot came from Medeus on Cardone's first save. We saw on Tuesday when we were at Greenwich, John, shots that were aimed at goaltenders' legs, trying to find the 5-hole, more than we saw in our opening game. So an impressive save there from Cardone.
Are you of the same school of thought here that you are in hockey, that the low shot's going to be the more effective one?
Especially in lacrosse, I don't know too many guys that are really willing to stick their shins out in front of that ball.
No.
I believe that you want to be taking shots from opposite end to opposite end. So if you want a low release, aim up high. If you want to go with the high release, try to get it down low. Get a little skip. There are going to be players in this conference with enough boom in their shots to do whatever they want and blow it by goaltenders. But we've got some great goaltenders playing in the FCIAC as well.
I think you need some creative finishes. You need to be able to deke. That was just pure power there on that shot from Justin Schneider, the Bears.
Well, that was a more low-to-low shot there. You saw the low release around the hips. Tried to skip it in on the offhand of Capitan. 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Norwalk leading by 2. Both goals scored by Michael Manella, who controls right now. Ball put down on the turf. Picked up here. And now looking for help anywhere is Stefan Jones. Goes back to his playing partner, Fahey, and then Capitan gets a touch. Couldn't quite thread the needle, but it gets the job done. Is coming up with it momentarily, and now able to control is Barboza. Barboza working the one-handed cradle. Over to Fife. Down the wing to Moreau. He'll slow it down in the corner. No pressure here coming from the Bears. 3 minutes to play in the first. Trying to get to the front. Jump shot there, and another save coming from Cardone.
Good forechecking by Stamford to try to keep that in, but Norwalk's broken the press, so to speak.
Get the clear attempt completed. They've got numbers as well if they want to run, but circling back and allowing for a proper change to get the offense set was Josh Tilton. Across it's Donovan. He works on the hash marks, heading for the numbers. Back to Alton Hall. 2:20 to go, and he goes from the right side of the mouth to the net, to the left on the net.
Norwalk very deliberate on their offense. I'm trying to come up with a word for it because
patient.
It's beyond patient. I mean, it's just the possessions are so long.
And I think it's smart. You're not forcing shots. You're wearing down the Stanford defense. You've got an advantage, and it's something I will say till I'm blue in the face, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's buying time and space, but unable to get that shot off was Justin Schneider. Up top again to Hall with under 90 to play in the first quarter.
And if you're going to keep winning the ground balls like Norwalk has, maybe you throw in a few more shots and extend these possessions by not coming up against the stall warning.
Hall spun away from Fife, tried to dump one off, and Donovan had to recollect after it short-hopped him. Donovan heading towards the front. Skip pass up high, and Justin Schneider lets one go. That beats Capitan through the 5-hole. It's 3-0 now.
There's the low shot again, and it's tough to move the legs. It's tough to put your shin. I mean, that ball is not soft.
The assist will go to Donovan. It is at the 10:58 mark. Norwalk with 3 unanswered in the first, out to an early lead. We talk about Stanford coming off the best season in program history, John. They did lose a lot of players to graduation. There were some key experienced players that it comes at a cost. But they have members from the core of that team back. They're excited about the interest that's peaked. I believe Coach was saying to us on the tour that this is one of the larger turnouts he's had for all 3 levels at Stanford. So the future is very bright for the Black Knights, despite a slower start than they would have liked this season.
Still early. They could still turn it on. They could still flip this game, obviously. It's about getting the program moving in the right direction. That doesn't happen overnight. You have to build a culture, and the administration has to be patient with that.
As John Cola has this one checked away. Ground ball collected by Akbar Khan. Khan stumbled over the 35-yard line, regained his footing, and now with 10 seconds is going to press. Needs to try to make his way to the net. 5 seconds on the clock now. What do? They're
going to run out of time.
They're not going to get a shot off here, but it comes a little late after the whistle. Won't count. A great start, though, for the hometown Bears. They lead 3-0 following goals from Manella and from Schneider. Norwalk on top at the end of one. We'll be right back with more high school lax after this on the HAN Network.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
La France de Chartrenet, c'est la France de tous les Français.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Back at Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School. This is the HAN Network's presentation of boys lacrosse in the FCIAC. The Norwalk Bears, a 3-0 lead after the first quarter over the Stamford Black Knights. That's one way to get the spring break spirits up, John.
Yeah, well, like we said, nice afternoon game. You got a beautiful game, a little brisk, a little breezy, as we're reminded by that by the door to the press box occasionally.
With the exception of yesterday's showers, this is the closest we've had to a spring feel in a little while. You had almost summer-like conditions at the start of this week. It was temperatures in the 80s and humid. Just not even warm, straight up hot outside.
Yeah, this is more spring. This is more Easter weather. Almost a little bit brisk today, but perfect day for lacrosse.
Stanford comes away with a draw here. First face-off, I believe the Knights have won, and quickly trying to work towards the cage as the shot sailed high out of the stick of Rashawn Lawson. Lawson, the long pole D-man. That's a tough shot to take there, John. It just always comes out of the stick a little weird. Tougher for the goalies to track in that situation.
Yeah, you get that funny motion on it like a knuckleball in baseball, and it's just difficult for the goalie to pick up, but you're sacrificing control.
So the Bears back on offense now, and as you mentioned, very deliberate have the possessions been for Norwalk. So patient, not forcing any shots. They wait till someone is open and in the right spot. And it's paid off to this point in time. But a careless pass here hits the deck, finds its way back to Capitan.
Another ground ball won by Norwalk. Stanford's got to start winning some of those ground balls.
Great individual effort to the front of the cage, and that one rings off the post. They've got to do better on the ground ball, John, and they've got to be more crisp with their passing right now. Unforced errors are proving to be a big difference to this point.
Exactly. Stanford's just not doing enough right now to reclaim the lead in this game.
Flag comes flying out as a shot here, well wide. But a Stanford Black Knight player, that is Matt Doyle, will head off after he's called for the infraction. 10:26 remaining in the second quarter. Stamford High and Norwalk High on the HAN Network on a Thursday afternoon. Happy to have you along. This time slot normally reserved for the Yankee fishermen, but you will be back next week, John.
You'll get me on the air somehow. Might be calling a lacrosse game, might be talking fishing. We've got some good stuff coming up.
We were saying finally fishing weather. You just mentioned you were out fishing just last night. So
got out a little bit, out for about an hour.
Yankee Fisherman's 1 o'clock on the HAN Network every Thursday. Pending, of course, a live game on the network. So Bears with their first man advantage opportunity. You can see that zone for the Black Knights collapsing in. It opens up the shot from outside off the crossbar out of the stick of Tilton.
But Norwalk recovers the rebound off the crossbar, maintains possession.
How about the use of a long stick here on this man advantage? Standing there on the right side, Valentin Brito, he's going to wind up, decides to pass one out instead.
Well, he's matched up against another long stick there as a shot is saved by Capitan, who can't find it.
Big save there. As the mantra right now is feed Tilton and let him let it fire. Britton with it. Trying to spin away from trouble. A whistle comes in. A timeout has been taken by the Bears with 9:21 to play in the first half. We'll be right back with more high school lax after this on the HAN Network.
Banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Shot right out of the break, and they score. That's why you use a long stick on the man advantage, John.
Big shot.
Valentin Brito picks up his first. The assist to Manella. It is 4-0 Bears early in the start of the second quarter. It is tough to track the ball out of the long stick. Brito was given a lot of time and space. A good timeout taken by Coach Adams. Draws up a play for the final seconds of that man advantage. And it's actually a non-releasable penalty, John. So the Bears will still have this advantage for a couple more seconds.
Akin to a major in hockey. Score all you can, and there's another one.
Perfect shot there. It's Schneider again with his second. Nice pass from Tilton. The Bears rolling at the moment.
Just seconds between goals, and now a 5-0 Norwalk lead.
15 seconds apart were those two goals. 5-0. Norwalk cruising early on, and they still have an opportunity with the man advantage here.
Still time to add another one.
Run up a false start called against Phelps. Here go the Bears again. Tilton with it. Down to Justin Schneider. Britton winds up.
6-2 almost behind him.
Turned over here off an errant pass. Serving 2 minutes of non-releasable time at the moment. Is Thomas Connolly. He's now free from the box. Correction, that was Matt Doyle. So the man advantage opportunity over. But the Bears strike twice to stretch the lead to 5. Ground ball. And coming away with this one for the Black Knights was Brennan Fahey. Goes back to Capitamba, waiting there, and collecting the hat-trick goal was Schneider. That's one Stanford's going to want back.
Right off of the release, off of that 2-minute advantage, Norwalk continues to play it like they're a man up, and a timeout called here by the Black Knights.
We will take one as well. 6-0 Norwalk with 8 minutes to play in the first. We'll be right back after this.
Mr. Handyman, CT.com.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
Mr. Handyman, CT.com.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back from Testa Field, Norwalk leading 6-0. Half those goals coming from Justin Schneider, including the last 2. Michael Manella picked up the game's first 2, and mixed in the middle there, Valentin Brito also has a goal. For Stanford, John, we talked about the unforced errors. That last one there might have been the worst we've seen yet.
Yeah, just another. There's just enough carelessness on the part of Stanford to make this a 6-0 game right now. And Norwalk's just doing the right things. They're winning the ground balls. They're making their shots count. And they're making Stanford pay every time they can, as we have a violation here.
And careless is the perfect word, because the last pass, many times I would describe it as an errant throw, as one we just saw right there. But trying to force it to the goalie with a man lingering nearby, that is a careless decision that was made, leading to the 6th goal. Alton Hall back on possession, crosses midfield, now the 40 up to the 30, and they'll set up the offense, handing to Litton under the 10. Correction, that was Tilton. Another pass sails away here, and over and back called. Ground balls cannot, a pass rolling over the 50 results in a turnover. You'll see many times battling at the line. Those defensemen with the long stick trying to poke it, stop it before it crosses over to avoid the infraction. But the Black Knights now with an opportunity to capitalize and make the Bears pay, but a big kick save that time off the foot of Cardone. 4 minutes and 55 seconds into the second quarter, and it's the first time Cardone has been challenged in quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive for him to react to it, because really, I almost forgot there was a Norwalk end to this field for the first 8 minutes of this quarter.
No hurry here is diving towards the front of the net, Scott Madu.
Great defense, though, for Norwalk by Chase Larkin, who strips him with the long stick.
Another ground ball battle here. A arm is up, a holding penalty called against the Black Knights. No time to be served, but it is a turnover. Nice job by Hall to collect that pass. Now he works his way up ahead, being chased by Dylan Schneider.
Good transition by Norwalk. They really do a good job of getting upfield, getting into the Stanford zone, letting the defense kind of hang, and then once they get to
Hall is ready to work. He's at the X position, draws a double team, and hands over to the side. There's the man with the hat trick. That was Justin Schneider. And it's up to his playing partner with the first 2 goals, Michael Manella. Hall back behind the net again. Spins off a check that time from Pat Barboza. Defensively, though, I think the Black Knights have actually done a pretty good job. The zone has stayed intact. They haven't been beat off the dodge too many times. Really, just a couple of unfortunate errors have led to most of the Norwalk goals.
It's some relatively creative shots, some bad bounces, and just the sheer overwhelming amount of time that Norwalk's had the ball. You know, there was a breakaway that's lost to a pass that, while Stamford's getting it out, that's a different play with a clean pass.
Good job defensively forcing the turnover, and now all the way up ahead, Barboza sets up the offense. Sinking down to collect that one was Medeas. And Krantz now works over to his right. Comes back to the left, winds up from distance, and that one sent wide of the cage. Not shy is Krantz Medeas about letting it go. That one 15 yards out, didn't miss by much. Here's Lucenti. Now Schneider, and that one skipped over the head of Medeas. We'll see if they can keep it on the opposite side. Over and back. The Bears take over.
The one thing I want to watch for the next time Stamford has ball, very little movement off the ball by the Black Knights. They kind of hang and wait for the pass, whereas you want to see some movement and players creating space for themselves. You can allow Norwalk to play a real tight zone defense if you're just going to hang and wait for the ball.
Manella retreats back, up ahead again as he's guarded this time by Tal Niv. Opens himself up, bounce shot goes over the top of the cage. Capitan tracking that one and wisely let it go. 3:45 remaining in the half. Frank Renito, John Kovach, and the HAN Network bringing you high school lacrosse in the FCIAC. The Norwalk Bears with a 6-0 lead at home over the Stamford Black Knights. Spring break week around the conference with the Easter holiday coming up.
Nice job carrying it up to flip the field there for Stamford by Krantz Medeas.
And able to finish off the pass is Scott Moreau. The Black Knights are on the board. Great shot down low. Even better job to handle that pass. Almost handcuffed him in the midsection. Readjusted, beat a man, and a bounce shot under the bar upstairs. 6-1. Black Knights trail by 5.
But, like basketball, lacrosse is a game of runs. Can Stamford put together a good stretch here and shrink this deficit before halftimes?
It'll start in the face-off circle. Quint Bartouche has been very good all day for the Bears. We'll see what he does on this one. Battling against Stephen Phelps. Almost a stalemate. Still undecided. And now all the way back at the 20-yard line. The Black Knights able to finally control. Doesn't matter how you win it, John, as long as you do.
Exactly. There's no style points.
Barboza with it. Just outside the box on that right side, and now it's up top again. Swung across from Cola. Tried to force a pass inside. Luckily waiting on the end line that time was Nick Lucenti, who could keep it alive. Fighting for the middle, shot down low, and the save made by Cardone. Unable to get all of that one was Moreau that time. Alton Hall with it. Under 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Bounce shot again over the cage, and winning the race for possession was Tilton.
Norwalk's working hard to make one of those bounce shots work.
Josh Tilton has not scored a goal yet. He does have one assist, but that's a player for the Bears who has been very important to their offensive flow with what he's doing off the ball and helping to facilitate at the start of plays. Right now, he works behind the net, sends over to the side wing where Duncan Campbell gets a touch.
Norwalk's really expanding that perimeter, trying to draw Stamford out, create space, and now they're trying to close it back in again, find a lane they can work through.
Here's Wilton St. John going back for Tilton, who put it on the floor. St. John picks it up.
So that's where if you're Stamford, you've got to get that loose ball and end this Norwalk possession.
1:18 to play, and the Bears will take a timeout. We'll be right back with more lacrosse after this on the HAN Network.
Sign up now to learn from the Box Lacrosse pros at In Sports of Trumbull. April 10th through 13th, join Black Wolves captain and two-time NLL MVP Sean Evans to learn the ins and outs of box lacrosse. Sessions run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Each camper receives a Black Wolves hat, t-shirt, and a ticket to a game. To register, visit blackwolves.com and click on Camps. In Sports of Trumbull, the game is always on, inside. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
1:18 left to play in the first half. The Norwalk Bears with possession and a 5-goal lead on top of Stanford 6-1. You're in the huddle with Coach Adams right now, John, and let me ask you this. You've been very patient on your possessions, not really forcing the issue to get to the front of the net. How much time do you think we see Norwalk take here before they try to make a move?
Minute 18 left. Minute 10? Minute 15? I mean, you know you can maintain possession against this Stamford team. And they'll kind of almost let you do it here. So you may as well chew up as much of the clock and see if you can go in with a 7-1 lead to the intermission.
On the left wing, heading towards the center of the box this time, is Schneider up high, and Manella controls. Now he's got Campbell, who looks to the front, lets a shot go, and buries it off the wing. It is Campbell unassisted at 11:14 of the second quarter. The lead is 7-1.
Just nothing fancy about that shot. Pure fast. I'm going to throw the heater and announce my presence with authority.
And a lot of time left for either team to score, not once, but maybe even twice, if they choose to win and draw cleanly and run off it. As winning that draw was Bertouche, but he had it taken away. Up ahead now is Holbrook. Ryan Holbrook crosses midfield, and a timeout taken by the Black Knights. They'll look to answer here before the end of the half, which comes in 33 seconds. You'll see it coming up next on the HAN Network.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Wild Birds Unlimited, your one-stop shop for all your backyard bird hobby needs. Premium bird seed, freshly delivered each week. A great selection of bird feeders, houses, a patented pole system, bird baths, and a vast array of wonderful gifts of whimsy and nature. Visit us at 356 Heights Road in Darien, next to the post office, and across from Norotan Heights Railroad Station.
Back with 33 seconds left to play in the first half. Frank Granito and John Kovac at Norwalk High School's Testa Field, the home of the Bears, who lead 7-1 at the moment over the Stamford Black Knights. And it's been a near perfect first half for the Norwalk Bears, John Kovac.
They've done everything that they need to get a 6-goal lead.
Goals were scored most recently by Campbell. Justin Schneider had the 2 before that. Then you had Valentin Brito. Schneider again. Manella scored the first 2. The goal scorer for the Black Knights is Scott Moreau. Krantz Medeus picked up an assist on that goal. The Black Knights will be on possession coming out of the timeout. They have 33 seconds to play and could really use a goal for momentum's sake, if nothing else in this one, heading to the half.
You want to do what you can do. There's not much. Cut a little bit of the lead off and get some momentum to carry over. We've talked in football, we've talked in hockey about the late goal, the late touchdown, and how that can swing momentum. That's what Stamford needs here, a goal going into the half.
Clock down to 10 seconds. Moreau on it. Circles all the way around. Looking for help. Fakes one pass. Now comes across. Shot opportunity denied. 2-1. They're not going to get it off as the half comes to an end and the frustration continues to mount for the Black Knights.
I really can't believe they never got a shot off. I mean, you got to know where you are on the clock and where you are on the field in relation to the goal. Tough half for them. We'll see how they can respond in the second half.
Chasing 6 are the Black Knights. It is 7-1, Norwalk leading Stamford. We'll step aside and be back with the second half of action on the HAN Network after this.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars. Wow. Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event, now through April 30th.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Join the HAN Network in Make-A-Wish, Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network's Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they never expire. Donate your miles at ct.wish.org/HAN Network and help us change lives, one wish at a time.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning free-form pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
La France de Charles Trenet, c'est la France de tous les Français.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain, or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Sign up now to learn from the box lacrosse pros at In Sports of Trumbull. April 10th through 13th, join Black Wolves captain and 2-time NLL MVP Sean Evans to learn the ins and outs of box lacrosse. Sessions run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Each camper receives a Black Wolves hat, t-shirt, and a ticket to a game. To register, visit blackwolves.com and click on Camps. In Sports of Trumbull, the game is always on, inside. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back at Norwalk High, and the second half of action coming up next. 7-1 to the Bears lead the Stamford Black Knights. It was a great first half by Norwalk. They got goals from Manella, Schneider, Brito. Schneider would score 2 more to complete the hat trick, and Duncan Campbell scored the 7th goal for Norwalk in that first half. Scott Moreau, the only goal for the Black Knights, who looked lost at times, very complacent, I would say, defensively. And another unforced error here gives the ball right back to the Norwalk Bears. Frank Granito in the press box above Testa Field, sitting alongside John Kovac. And John, let's start with the Stamford Black Knights. What do they need to do differently here in the second half to get back into this one?
Stop making errors, and you look no further than the end of that second quarter when time expired as they tried to get an open look. Just throw the ball at the net and hope at that point. You're down 7-1. Just try to get something.
It's 33 seconds left. You used a timeout to draw up a play. There's got to be some clock presence to at least get something towards the net, but the ball died in the stick of Nick Lucenti. And that's the way the half would end, as a pass here sails wide of Dale Donovan out of bounds, and the Black Knights take over. Maybe one of the breaks Stanford's going to need here early on in the second half.
They need now to push this. I mean, you don't want to say there's a must-score possession in lacrosse all that often, but if you're going to swing momentum, you've got to get an early goal here in the second half if you're the Stamford Black Knights.
This will be their first possession of this half. As a pass skips up ahead, bounced around, and Manella trying to win a ground ball. Brito coming to help, still fighting for it. And finally coming out with possession, it's the Norwalk Bears again. So another bad pass leads to a Stanford turnover, and Norwalk with an opportunity to expand their lead one more time. Coming around from behind the cage, shot towards the front, and the save made by Baylor Bridges, who has checked in net to spell Sean Capitan for Coach Nazaro and the Black Knights.
Maybe just time would change. Just try to see if we can shake things up a little bit, because I don't think any of those goals in the first half can strictly be blamed on Capitan.
No, and a very busy day now for Bridges, too, pulling double duty as He took a loss in the JV game before this one. That was a game that went to overtime, but Bridges, I thought, played well in that game. A young member of this squad, hoping to get some experience. The big blast here finds the back of the net. Schneider stays hot to start the third, his fourth goal of the afternoon, and it is an 8-1 lead, largest lead of the afternoon for the Bears.
Nothing fancy there. Low shot about knee level, came high to low with the shot, and it gets by Bridges. After he made a big save, he made a save on the first shot he faced. Nothing he could do on that one.
It was a very good pass, too, coming from Manella behind the net. He'd been working on the wing with Alton Hall, but the skip pass went up top, and letting that one go was Schneider, as he just blew it right by Bridges. With a new face-off man momentarily in there, but there's going to be some changes made. And now coming out to take the draw. And we're ready to go.
You know, the other thing that's nice with these afternoon games is you start to get some finals trickle in early, which is always interesting.
As Bartouche wins that draw with relative ease. That is a Black Knight player. Not listed on the roster, John. Might be another JV call up there. We got to look at in number 12 for Stanford. And passing again, here's Britton. Over on the left side. Campbell saw it slip through his stick. Trying to win possession, but he can't do so. It's turned over. Going for Stanford.
Checking the records that we have, Frank, but not seeing a 12.
That's a wrap check here by Britton. Took it away from Tal Niv. Now up the other way, and this time he's able to connect with Campbell, and the Bears can set up with 8:50 to play in the third.
Yeah, we've talked about all of the save by Bridges there. We've talked about all of what Stanford has to do. Let's not forget that Norwalk's really playing a very good game right now. They're moving the ball the way they want. They're aggressive on the checks. They're aggressive on the stick checks. Their defense has been solid. I mean, they're doing everything they need to win, including scoring another goal.
Manella through the 5-hole. He's got a hat trick. It is 9-1 Norwalk.
Another low shot just goes in, and now there's a meeting with Bridges and the Stamford defense.
I don't think they're talking about what's for dinner.
Candlesticks are nice.
All Norwalk right now, and you're right, they've been so patient on offense, so effective, but defensively they've made life miserable for Stanford when they've had possession. They've capitalized on ground ball opportunities, have forced bad passes, and they've also won faceoffs as Bartouche has done a very good job to this point of the match.
They've looked very, very good on the face-off, and that can so set the tone as it can in hockey to win the face-off and get possession and get you a leg up.
Campbell coming all the way around. He lets one go. Kick the side there. Good save from Bridges.
Second good save that he's had, but he's given up to on some pretty hard shots. Devastating hit there. We've got whistles all around.
As Matt Doyle threw his shoulder into Josh Tilton. Devin Burden has it now off the reset. And the Bears back at it again. 9-1 they lead. 7:35 to play in the third. Norwalk looking to improve to 3-1 on the year, 2-1 in the conference.
I mean, Norwalk looks very crisp on offense. The way they expand and contract in the offensive zone, the way they're creating space, the way they're creating lanes to cut in, lanes to shoot in. It's really a good-looking Norwalk squad right now against Stamford. Almost a bizarre own goal there, Frank.
Yeah, pass got deflected around, took an interesting skip on that second bounce. A good job by Bridges to stay with it. That's going to be a push all day long. Called for this one was Chase Larkin. He sent Moreau down to the deck.
I think you're seeing some more of those hits. You're seeing some more of those calls as they try to keep it under control.
So Stanford now finally within the box. That's an opportunity for their first real possession of the second half. Up top, it's Medew. Excuse me, that's Medeus. Another ground ball battle here, and coming away is Britton.
He bounced that shot just a little bit early and ends up creating just a ground ball.
And just missed on the opposite end with a bounce shot opportunity. He's already scored once when the Bears had the man advantage.
Stick wants to score that bounce shot after running coast to coast.
Alton Hall with it now. Running through contact, hands off to Campbell. Circles back up top. Hall ready to work alone. Isolated against Matt Doyle. Comes in, steps right, pass to the left side. Trying to free up for a shot here. As a flag comes flying out. It's going to be a slash on the Black Knight, so another man advantage opportunity to come for Norwalk. Britton back out there again with the man-up opportunity. This time he is over on the right side. It's a box outside working against the smaller expanding box of 5 from the Black Knights defense. As they reverse the flow. Skip pass up high. Britton lets a shot go that's wide.
He wants to score in the worst way.
That one about 18 yards out on the opportunity. Here's Manella. Wanted to step into one, instead comes to Britton. Thought about his shot, passed it off instead. Stanford Black Knight player goes down, and they're going to blow the whistle dead here as he is clinging to his knee. And it's very slow to get up. Medical staff out on the field will step aside with 4:48 remaining in the third.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Join the HAN Network in Make-A-Wish, Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network's Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they never expire. Donate your miles at ct.wish.org/HAN Network and help us change lives, one wish at a time.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
La France de Chartrenet, c'est la France de tous les Français.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Back on the HAN network, Frank Renito, John Kovac, Stanford trailing 9-1. Have just lost one of their defenders too to injury, it appears. Had to be helped up onto a golf cart and then taken off the field, John. Trying to get an eye on what number it was. We'll keep you up to date, but that was unfortunate to see for the Black Knights, who have now also got to fight off the man advantage opportunity. And that's a huge help as Bridges wins a race for possession. And they take back over.
And what's scary about that injury is it's non-contact. And generally those are more devastating because you have, we're not going to speculate as to what happened here, but a non-contact injury, that's when you have some kind of damage to the knee or ankle.
Manella thought about letting it go. Second time he does, and now Manella has 4 goals to match Justin Schneider. Smart play there with the fake shot. Got the defender to hesitate. Opened up more space. And he finishes from about 8 yards out.
Yeah, the fake shot can do so much. And it has here today for Norwalk the few times they've needed it. They've scored with just about every shot possible.
Norwalk averages 10 goals a game. They'd scored 30 on the year coming into today, and they just hit that mark now. A 10-1 lead. They only surrender 7.3. Stanford has been averaging 10 goals a game and surrendering only 6.5, but that after just 2 games of play to this point in time. Is trying to work his way away from trouble is Pat Barboza. The only goal scorer this afternoon for Stamford is Scott Moreau. He's on possession now, just outside the 35-yard line, being guarded tightly by Akbar Khan. Moreau looking for help, still maintaining possession with 3:45 to play in the third.
But there's not a lot of movement. Now we're finally starting to see a little bit. Not a lot of movement away from the ball by Stamford. So they're not getting themselves open. They're not creating any offense or any space.
Here's Moreau again, taking the pass from Medeus. As a shot here and a score. Connecting on that one is Pat Barboza. The Black Knights able to answer. And now it is 10-2. Big shot there just when Stamford needed one, John.
Yes, and it might be a little bit late.
Infraction on the draw. Norwalk gets it right back. I was bringing this one in. Is David Lamb. Loose ball on the floor, and the Black Knights come away with it. A good play there. Done illegally. Stanford will take over, though, after the foul against Valentin Brito. Up ahead into the box, 2:40 to play, and the Black Knights looking to string together goals for the first time this afternoon. Fife open on the left wing, and using him that time is Lucenti.
It's the first time we've really seen back-to-back possessions by Stamford in this rapid succession.
As a jump shot there out of the stick of Moreau sails high over the cage and wide.
Creative shot there by Stanford. A little far out for a jump shot, and we've got a violation off the ball.
Looks like it might have been interference inside the box, trying to free man open with a pick. Tough break. I was trying to get to the front of the net. Shot on the short side. Is it in? Yes. Wilton St. John with the goal. And the lead is back to 9.
St. John takes it. Baylor Bridges tries to make the save, sneaks by him. The lead back to 9 for the Norwalk Bears. Not a lot of room for him to get that shot through, Frank, but he found a way.
Bartouche off the draw tried to put one in, and that one sailed wide with 2 minutes to play. Circling out, back around, as slowing it down now is Lamb. Hands over to Burden. Pass behind the cage. Working left, stepping back to his right was Schneider. 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. A 9-goal Norwalk advantage. 11-2 on top of the Stamford Black Knights. You're watching the HAN Network's coverage of FCIAC Lacrosse. Your home for FCIAC Sports as Burton lets a bounce shot go, and that sails wide on the left side of the post.
Baylor Bridges has done a good job staying with the shots. The ones that have gotten in, it's been, the one that snuck in on the short side, or a couple of long, hard shots. But he's made his share of saves since he came in at halftime.
Again, Baylor Bridges playing this morning in the JV game. Sean Capitan got the start in the first half for the varsity, and then Bridges coming on to help out here down the stretch, and he stops a pass from rolling through the crease. Looked to start the clear. And coming over to pick up a ground ball and make a move there was Shane Brady. Hands off for Dylan Schneider. To the right side with Lucenti. And he's worked on by Luis Vega. Under 30 seconds to play. This is a situation the Black Knights were in just 12 minutes ago. Failed to get a shot off that time around. Ground ball here, and that looks like it might be the case again.
Well, it's an aggressive defense by Norwalk that jarred that ball loose, knocked Scott Moreau off his feet, and created the ground ball.
Estevan Restrepo going to work right now, trying to come up with a ground ball. It's going to go over to the Bears with 3 seconds remaining. Doubt we see them try anything here as a pass heads to the middle of the net where Cardone fields. 11-2, Norwalk on top big through 3 quarters of play. We'll be right back with more high school lacrosse after this.
Join the HAN Network in Make-A-Wish, Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network's Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they never expire. Donate your miles at ct.wish.org/HAN Network and help us change lives, one wish at a time.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Back at Norwalk High School, boys lacrosse on the HAN Network, and the Norwalk Bears leading 11-2 over the Stamford Black Knights. Frank Granito and John Kovach up in the press box. And John, Make-A-Wish Connecticut needs your support this month to make wishes come true for children with life-threatening medical conditions. Throughout April, HAN and Make-A-Wish are asking you to donate unused airline miles to our Wishes in Flight campaign. 70% of wishes granted each year for Connecticut kids involve travel, and those airline miles make it happen. Unused Delta or United miles may be donated directly to the campaign by visiting ct.wish.org/HAN Network. JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, and American Airlines also accept airline miles donations that support Make-A-Wish through their own airline mile donation programs. Directions to those portals are available on the HAN Network campaign page. Again, visit ct.wish.org/HAN Network. That's ct.wish.org/HAN Network to support a wonderful cause. And be sure to check out stories about local Wish Kids' dream vacations in our community newspapers all month long.
Frank, I'm impressed that we had an unsettled ball situation for the entirety of that read.
22 seconds gone by in the fourth, and now Norwalk ready to start us off as they take possession. We've been talking a little bit, obviously, with games starting up now, John, and we're partnered up with Make-A-Wish this month, but you were with me back in Greenwich in the fall this season when we got to meet Ben McFadden, our first Wish kid to join one of our live sports broadcasts, and what a treat that was. Make-A-Wish does such a great job, especially Make-A-Wish Connecticut, and we've given a lot of credit to Johnny Marinelli, Greenwich High, and their football program taking Ben under their wing the way they did. So it's a very cool cause and a lot of fun.
It really is, and we've been running a story a week about the Make-A-Wish Foundation and about some of the wishes that the donated airline miles have been able to make happen.
Timeout taken. We'll spend it as well. 11-12 to play in the fourth quarter on the HAN Network.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference.
Wild Birds Unlimited, your one-stop shop for all your backyard bird hobby needs. Premium bird seed, freshly delivered each week. A great selection of bird feeders, houses, a patented pole system, bird baths, and a vast array of wonderful gifts of whimsy and nature. Visit us at 356 Heights Road in Darien, next to the post office, and across from Norotan Heights Railroad Station.
So coming out of the timeout, Norwalk will be back on possession, try to get things organized here. Leading by 9 in the fourth quarter. Again, John, Stamford coming off the best season in program history, but it's been a bit of a struggle today and early on this season as they have to replace some key players. And the growing pains are real.
What would trouble me if I'm Stamford is the lopsided nature, if this score holds, of their losses. 12-3 to a very strong Greenwich team, and this one right now, 11-2 in the infancy of the fourth quarter.
This is certainly an 11-2 game, and
no question.
It is in no doubt a 9-goal advantage for the Norwalk Bears, but the scoreboard does not resemble what's been seen on the field where while Norwalk has capitalized on the opportunities, I don't know that they're 9 goals better than Stamford. Stamford has given them a lot and allowed just so many opportunities for Norwalk, and they've capitalized. So we got an offside call here, so it's turned back over to Stamford.
That they have. Norwalk has looked very good. Let's not take anything away from them. But Stamford has created a lot of opportunities through errant passes, ground balls that weren't picked up, etc.
10:25 to play. Trying to fight his way towards the front of the net is Lucenti. Up top, and it's Barboza. Fakes a shot, buys some space, and the bounce goes wide to the left.
Attempt to make a shot there to work around the circle, kind of create an angle, but just a little bit steep and it bounces wide.
There's a nice little play there as Lucenti sneaks around to the front, and he gets that one to go.
Nifty little backhand shot.
So 11-3 with 10:04 to play. As the Black Knights continuing to fight on here on a beautiful spring afternoon on the campus of Norwalk High. Spring break this week, so haven't seen the crowd sizes we're used to at all the games we attended. And we had some great ones, John. How about yesterday? A rematch of last year's FCIAC championship in baseball. Darien and Trumbull, who went 8 innings in May last year. They did it again yesterday. This time, Trumbull came out on top. Ben Farrow pitched an absolute gem of a game, going the full 8 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks for the young man.
I wish I could have been there. I wish you had this weather for that game, because weather causing a couple of glitches here and there for us. I want to see those two play again.
As a flag comes flying out here. That game is available on demand. You're right. We didn't get to air that one live. The weather causing some serious issues with the internet connection down at Darien High yesterday, but great rematch there. In boys lax on Tuesday, we had a real fun one between Greenwich and Ridgefield. Greenwich led 7-3 heading into the fourth quarter of that game. 4 goals from the Tigers in the fourth quarter to tie it at 7, including one with just 30 seconds remaining. And then Jack Fada for the Cardinals iced it over in overtime, and while they were disappointed with a lackadaisical fourth quarter, all's well that ends well, they can move on with a big win there over a Ridgefield team that was in the FCIAC and state semifinals last year. With the man advantage, working it around off the top of the crossbar and waiting out 20 yards to field that one was Fife.
I enjoyed that. I had that doubleheader on. I was at the office working our editorial end of things, and it was great to have that on. That's the one thing I miss when this week ends, is having a game to listen to in the middle of the day. It's nice. I'm going to turn the game on and listen to Frank and Kevin.
Well, we had that one at 2. Of course, girls lacrosse before that as Lucenti fires again. He's now got 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. It is 11-4. But you're right, that was a doubleheader day for us. We had the boys game at 2 o'clock. Before that, the girls playing against Fairfield Ward. That game was at 12 o'clock, a rematch of last year's lacrosse semifinals in the Class L championships. Ward won in the state game last year, 11-10 in overtime. Greenwich won 12-9 this year in their 3rd game of the regular season. 2 great games, and both the boys and girls lacrosse teams at Greenwich right now are feeling it. It's another shot, another goal. And here come the Black Knights quietly. James Pease picks it up, give Lucenti the assist. He's feeling it right now. Where's this Stamford team been all afternoon?
Seriously, all of a sudden we've had a momentum swing. Now the clock's their biggest foe.
3 goals in 90 seconds, and now the lead back down to 6. As Bartouche comes away with a draw. Expect we'll see Norwalk slow things down right here, try to take back a little bit of the momentum. Instead, a pass that was thrown behind Burden can't be controlled, and the Black Knights with another opportunity.
That's the first outlet pass we've seen from a goalie today. No?
Pitched up ahead to Doyle, and his shot sails wide. Bridges, since stepping in the second half, has actually had to throw a couple, and he's been very calm, cool, and collected doing so.
It was a beautiful outlet, and you can make so much happen in transition here.
It's the first time I think it led to a successful clear where a ball didn't hit the turf and actually made its way through.
I think that's where I'm going with it. It's the first time we've seen it really have an impact. Getting breezy and brisk here, Frank.
As a pass inside, shot hit the side of the net and able to go back and control it is Cardone.
Little bit of a forecheck by Stamford, but Norwalk eludes it, carried out by Akbar Khan.
He had it poked away from behind. Ground ball opportunity here, still fighting for it. And finally emerging with it and spinning to safety was Wilton St. John. He was the last player to score for Norwalk. That was back in the 3rd quarter. Since then, Stamford has scored 3, 2 from Lucenti and 1 from Pease. As another errant pass misses a Norwalk target, and it's turned back over. 7:01 to play. Black Knights trailing by 6. Flip to Bridges, back over to his D-man, and now up ahead come the Black Knights. Pass towards the front, off an intended stick, comes back around, winding up, letting one go off the crossbar again. Outside, Barboza down low, and Cardone stopped it with a stick. Ball's outside the crease and being battled for. Players hit the floor, and there's a penalty upcoming here. No. Just a play-on ruled as Norwalk keeps possession.
I think there was a crease violation there, but Norwalk had possession. But great job by Stamford to keep that in, getting some really hard rebounds off crossbars and posts, and Stamford turns it right back around.
Open ball, and Lucenti comes away with it. He's had the hot hand of late. Pass down low. Shot inside, and scoring on that one was Dylan Schneider. Cardone emerged from the crease, tried to get a body on Schneider, but it was too late. 4 unanswered, and the lead is down to 5.
Just a great feed to Schneider, and then Schneider with a little bit of a trickery there, a little spinorama, goes top shelf.
Just under the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Stamford has dominated this period to the point right now, but this time called for an infraction as Bardouche is going to win the draw. Correction, the hold was against Bardouche, so Stanford's on possession again. Cola. Swings one over for Medeas. Moreau on the right side, and now it's down low to Lucenti. He has had a touch in all of the Stanford goals to this point, and a great hustle by Cardone to win back possession. 2 goals, 2 assists for Lucenti this quarter. Long clearing attempt over 50 yards, and it connects with Alton Hall. Hall bowls over one man, able to escape with that pass. We'll see if Norwalk can do anything offensively as they've gone ice cold here down the stretch. Coach wants to take a timeout and settle everybody down. We'll take it as well with 5:06 to play. The lead's only 5. We'll be right back on the HAN Network.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
5:06 remaining in the fourth quarter. Stanford, with 4 unanswered goals, has cut the lead to 5. It's 11-6, and this might be the most important possession of the game here, John, for Norwalk.
I think they've got to stop the bleeding. Stanford has to watch the clock. What keeps coming back in my head is, what if Stanford gets a shot off successfully and scores at the end of the half? How different is this with this run that they've put on now in the fourth quarter?
You could say the same thing for the third quarter, too. They had possession with
Yes.
30 seconds to go the last 2 quarters and failed to get a shot off either time. It'll be interesting to see how passive they stay with this defensive match zone now, as obviously time is their biggest enemy down the stretch.
They're closing it. They're much more aggressive on defense in their zone right now, particularly behind their own net. And they're matching up almost man for man when the receiver appears to be clear.
Trying to come around and fight through contact, but sent down to the deck and unable to get the shot off that time was Dale Donovan. Ground ball battle for a push called. It's going to the Black Knights.
Interesting there. I think you could have called that a couple ways because you had a lot of jostling for position going on as both teams tried to get that ground ball. But we're down under 4 minutes left. Does Stanford have time to make up the 5 goals that it trails by?
Up ahead. Barbeau's on it. No, that's Moreau in the 13. Down to 3:30, trailing by 5. They could maybe be patient for one more possession, but have probably got to get aggressive early on. Shot coming here, missed high over the cage.
That one had some heat to it.
As they have moved Medeas over to the wing to open him up for that big shot. Lucenti through a triple team somehow escapes. Fake the pass out in front.
I don't know how he held on to the ball through that.
Deus wanted to shoot, wisely decided otherwise. Barboza made a man miss, shot to the chest as Cardone makes his easiest save of the night.
He went for the low shot. Cardone just able there to...
And Cardone didn't escape the crease in 4 seconds. He's called for the infraction, now turned over again. Vicente wisely hesitated a moment as jumping back was Estevan Restrepo. Medeiros shot down low, got blocked out in front, never reached.
Cardone actually tried to beat Stanford's Lucente in the X position to try to get possession on that. You don't see the goalie make that play too often. Try to be the one who's closest to the errant shot as it goes out of bounds.
And an errant pass here over the top of Moreau. Bad turnover with 2:30 left to play.
That might be the killer there because now you're looking at 5 goals in 2.5 minutes. That's a tall task.
And that's also, you've got to get the ball back first, and you've got to find a way to beat Bartouche on faceoffs, who's been very good all day. And this is exactly who Norwalk wants the ball in the hands of, Alton Hall, as he'll just look to kill as much clock as possible. Fans begging the Stanford players to apply a little pressure, force the hand of Hall as the clock's under 2 minutes now. Guarded by Barboza. And he's content just spinning back and forth left to right in this corner.
Under 2 minutes now, Frank. Under 1:45.
Walking that end line, he put it down on the floor and turned it over, but in the process, he killed a good 60 seconds.
That's all he had to do, was hold on to the ball, managed to, for as long as he could, avoid the pressure. This looks like a running back drill, Frank.
As Matt Doyle trying to cradle to the grave through a double team. And we are down to 1:20. Norwalk back on possession, and everything from here in should be a formality. Norwalk played phenomenally for most of the afternoon, John. There was a 6-minute window at the start of the fourth quarter where things started to fall apart. Stanford with 4 unanswered goals, but just too big a deficit to overcome down the stretch.
But you're a team that's not, maybe you're not used to being up as many as Norwalk is. Your foot kind of comes off the gas a little bit. You lose that sense of urgency, and then Stanford, being the team that's chasing, capitalized on that. As we have, I believe, a timeout called.
I don't know if they're going to give it to him, John. I think they are going to say Stanford was offside.
They're awarding possession to Norwalk, it appears.
And they might still allow Stanford the timeout, but ultimately the call is going to be offside against Stanford. So Norwalk will take over with 44 seconds. We'll take one more break. Be back for the conclusion of this one right after this.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back on the HAN Network, Frank Granito, John Kovac at Norwalk High School. Thanks for tuning in. So we've got 44 seconds separating Norwalk from their 3rd win of the season. It would move the Bears to 3-1. Stanford staring down a 1-2 start. It'll be the 2nd time this year they've fallen under 500. The other time was after their opening game against the Greenwich Cardinals. They fell 12-3. As Alton Hall quickly runs into a double team. He's got to find a way to get into the box and does so. Heads for the end line, and now coming over to help again this time was Ryan Holbrook. Hall sent it up top, or Campbell had it. Wants to make sure it stays on this side of the 50. It goes over and back. No, it's a push, though. So it'll stay with Norwalk now with 20 seconds remaining. John, if you had to pick a player of today's game, who would you go with?
Boy, Manella looked good. You had Schneider for Norwalk looked good. I think there's a number of Norwalk players who you could make that argument for. You?
It's most likely Manella or Schneider. I think I gave the nudge to Schneider there. He just helped facilitate a couple more plays, very active, and really got this offense going into a groove as the clocks hits 0. Norwalk a winner 11-6 over the Stamford Black Knights. They are now 3-1 on the season. Stamford 1-2. John, final thoughts on this one.
I think Norwalk did a lot of things well. I want to see how they do coming out of this. Norwalk will Norwalk is at Notre Dame West Haven Saturday. That could be interesting. And then they visit Buchanan Tuesday at 4:30. Stanford, 4 straight home games coming up, and a couple of them are winnable if they turn around and do a few mistakes today. St. Joe's on Saturday, McMahon Tuesday, Pompano a week from today, Ridgefield on Saturday the 22nd. I think there's room to build and grow for both of these teams, but today Norwalk did a lot right, and it shows in the finals.
I tell you what, if Stanford plays the way they did at the start of the fourth quarter, they could be very, very competitive in the conference. That'll be a big matchup against St. Joe's because you're talking about teams that are fighting for that 8th playoff spot.
You look at a game like this, all right, you're down 10, win this quarter, outscore them for 12 minutes, and Stanford did that. I think Stanford really played the better lacrosse in the second half. Some of that, you never know how a team, we talked during the game about these early games, you never know how a team's going to adjust to them. They don't all just flow right into it like they would a 3:30, 4 o'clock start.
Final score again, Norwalk 11, Stanford 6. We thank you for tuning in with us. For John Kovach, I'm Frank Renito. Enjoy your Easter. We're back on Monday at Fairfield Ludlow for some girls lacrosse on the home of FCIAC Sports, the HAN Network.